Once again, it's story time with Dave, Chef to the Stars. And today, I have no idea what movie she was filming, but Megan Fox came into my little establishment and asked me to bake the best ham sandwich she ever had. So I said okay. First, you're going to want to make the focaccia bread. This is 4 cups of flour. And to that, I added 1 pack of instant yeast. Decided to mix that around a little bit. Before adding 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and 2 cups of 110 degree water. Lukewarm. That's just to activate the yeast. Put your little dough hook on. And you want to basically run this till a fairly sticky ball forms. And then you're going to want to, well, I'll show you, olive oil it up, but we'll be doing that in the next step. Okay, as you can see here, I lightly, or actually pretty heavily, olive oiled the dough ball up. You kind of have to do this, because if you don't, and make sure every square millimeter of this dough is covered. If you don't, it will stick to the side of the bowl, and it will be a real bitch and a half to take care of. Now, you just want to cover this container and let rise. You can do this overnight in the fridge if you wish, but I did it on the countertop for about 2 hours. 2.5 hours, your choice. And then you're going to want to punch it down and then let it rise again for 20 minutes. Oh, quick note, the second rise is actually going to be 30 minutes. So, while the dough is rising, time to make our cucumber salad. You want to take 2 seedless cucumbers. They're also known as English cucumbers. And you basically just want to start slicing them on a slicer or mandolin. And how thick? I don't know, about 1/16 of an inch or maybe 1 millimeter in thickness. Fairly thinly sliced. So, after you've gotten your cucumbers sliced, you basically want to salt the shit out of them. And then kind of put the cover on, toss it around. And then you want to just leave it alone once it's been kind of fairly well salted. You just want to leave this on the counter and let the cucumbers sweat for 1 hour. So, leave the cucumbers on the counter, let them sweat 1 hour, and then we'll be ready to add the other ingredients. Okay, through the magic of cooking show editing, the hour has passed, as you can see, have that liquid. So it's time to drain the cucumbers. Okie dokie, now it's time to make the brine. What we have here is 1 cup of white vinegar and a 1/2 cup of water. Gonna take this to the stove now. Now, over high heat, you want to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And you just want to keep whisking this continuously until the sugar is fully dissolved in the water and the vinegar. This process should take about 3 to 5 minutes. You'll know when you're done when the liquid is completely clear. If it is cloudy in any way, keep whisking. Okay. Now it's time to add 1 red onion that I thinly sliced up. Put the lid on and give it a shake so it gets all mixed up. And then you want to pour our vinegar sugar mix in the bowl. Roughly about 2 tablespoons of minced dill. Fresh minced dill. If you are using the dried stuff, then cut it in half. Only 1 tablespoon of minced dill. But fresh is usually better, my opinion. Then just give this a shake. And then you want to pop this in the fridge and let it chill out for at least 1 hour. Okay, the 2 hours are up. As you can see, our focaccia dough has risen nicely. Time to punch it down. And you can re-oil it here. I believe I did. And then let it rise for another... Because, again, this is an extremely, extremely sticky dough. You don't want to be stingy with the olive oil. And then you want to let it re-rise one more time for 30 minutes. Again, if your dough is still slick enough after the first olive oiling, you don't need to. But again, if you want to, it's not going to harm it. Trust me, you do not want this dough to get stuck in your fucking bowl. Okay, even though I lined this 9 by 13 inch baking dish with parchment paper, I am still going to rub olive oil on it. Like I said, do not be stingy with the olive oil with this particular recipe. Then, you want to pour the dough into the baking dish. I don't know if pour is the right word. Place, I guess. And then just work it with your hands till it's all spread out. As you can see, even though my hands are oiled up, this dough, it's almost like glue. So, then we're going to want to pop this into the oven at 425. You should have your oven preheated at 425 for 25 to 30 minutes, but do the knife test to make sure it's done again. Because again, if you different elevations, different cooking times, that's why baking's such a pain in the ass. Oh, I would also like to point out, at this point, this is where you would add the topping to a focaccia. You don't have to, it's optional. This is where you'd add like pepperonis or cheeses or rosemary or something like that. I decided not to do that with this one. Just me. So while the bread is baking, let's make up a little quick mustardaise. Just eyeball this. You want about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, to a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons of coarse ground mustard. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring anything. And then you just want to grab a spoon and give this a quick little stir. And stir till it's all well incorporated, and then pop it in the fridge for a couple of minutes. That's it. That's really it. Okay, bread's out of the oven. It's been rested, and I cut it into 8 pieces, as you can see here. So the only thing left to do, let it rest just a little bit longer, and then we're going to start assembling the sandwich. Okay, the first thing we got to do is we got to toast up the focaccia bread. Yeah, I know it's a thicker bread, but take the time to toast it. You don't want your sandwich to become a soggy piece of shit. Okay, first thing you want to do, both sides. Give a good, generous spreading of that mustardaise that we made. Followed by Swiss cheese on one side. And some nice medium cheddar on the other. Doesn't have to be medium, that's just the one I went with. Any cheddar will do. Some Virginia ham that I just quickly heated up in a skillet just before putting it on the sandwich. And then you're going to want to pop this into a 400-degree oven just until the cheese is melted and kind of bubbly. You don't want to go nuts. About 5-10 minutes, depending on where you are. Just keep an eye on it. When the cheese is all nice and melty, pull it out of the oven. Okay, through the magic of cooking show editing, the sandwich is done. Now let's start adding those, that pickle salad or pickled cucumbers and onions, whatever you want to call it. Place a generous helping of them on there. And that's really it. Just take the side with the ham and put it on top. And pretty much all we have left to do is cut the sandwich in half. And that's pretty much it. That's Megan Fox's ham sandwich that I made for her. She did enjoy it. Although why she ate it while reading from the Necronomicon, I have no idea, because now I have a baby Cthulhu in my basement. Well, anyway, that's Megan Fox's ham sandwich. Done.